Let's talk about when chiropractic doesn't work. Okay, this is where we just pack it up and go home, right? Wrong. Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and welcome to Brain Snob, episode 44. Let's talk about it. But first, I want everyone to be a brain snob. Being a brain snob is not an insult. It's a high compliment. It means you understand a great deal about the brain so you can give yourself amazing life experiences. After all, a burdened brain is lost talent and a disease magnet. And we need your full participation in the world. We can't let that talent go to waste. We need you to be a performing brain because that can change the world. When you come into the office, you can get your BFA template and roadmap for the healing journey. BFA is brain first always, and that's the approach I incorporate into chiropractic care so you can get the best boosting effects for the brain. And your brain makes your body. You make your life. So here we go. Chiropractic didn't work. I've heard it. I've heard that before. It didn't help me. People would say, well, chiropractic didn't work for me. And if I have more time to talk with the person, I would ask them, well, what's your definition of working? What did you want to have work? And give me a little more detail. And a lot of people have the idea that they want to be out of pain. They want to get rid of that pain that's slowing them down, interfering with their life, giving them a lot of emotional side effects. And if it doesn't work quickly or on the first couple of visits, then it didn't work. So let me push aside the word work, because the body is working 24 hours a day. It's always in motion. Even on the cellular level, while you're sleeping, your body is doing something. It's always doing it. Doing what? Well, hopefully it's healing. A lot of times it's churning inflammation, of course, because we live in a stressful world and we have that inflammatory response going on as part of that healing. If we have chronic inflammation, then we've kind of blurred the lines between healing and losing tissue reserve and tissue resilience. These are my favorite words. Reserve, resilience. Inflammation does take a toll on the body. It's meant to be a short-term correction. It's the repair process. But if we got too much to repair, we can't keep up. If you're trying to put new boards on a house while there's a raging fire on the other end of the house, that's kind of silly. We're trying to rebuild something that's about to be destroyed within the next few minutes or the next few hours. So I ask people to look at this type of thinking, because we don't want things to work. Well, in a perfect happy world, yes, everything would fall into place instantly, but that's not the world we're living in. And it is challenging, yes, and a lot of times it's the emotional predicaments, the emotional stresses that we put on our bodies that actually slows down the healing process. So when chiropractic doesn't work, meaning somebody's been getting adjusted for a while, but they're not getting the results they want, we have to come to a head-to-head, a tete-a-tete, and talk about what is it that we want. Because if you're disappointed and the disappointment is happening rather quickly, it means I failed at my job of explaining what the body does, because we need to work with the body and not against it. And boy, we spend a lot of our hours of our awake time going against the body. Boy, we ask the body to do a lot for us, and we don't give it our thanks in return. We don't give it our TLC in return. So that's the point of this whole video. Are you giving your body TLC, the tender, loving care that it needs and it deserves? Because when we start focusing on fast results, we've lost the picture of the process. There's a process going on, and we have to give it time, and we have to give it a fair chance. So while we're putting new siding on the front of the house and that raging fire is going on at the back of the house, we've got to pay attention to the raging fire, and a lot of the times when we do go to our medical doctor or our natural practitioner or anybody, sometimes we just ignore that raging fire. It's just plain silliness. It's downright, it's bad energy. It's a waste of time, and you're spending your time on something that's ineffective. So we need to be effective. After all, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a new result. So I want you to look at how your body's compensating, because stress, the stress we're looking at, the symptom we're looking at is usually compensation to some type of trauma. And that can be mechanical trauma, emotional trauma, or chemical trauma. And if those same emotions are ongoing, the same mechanical problems are ongoing in your body, and the same emotional problems, did I say them all? Emotional, chemical, and mechanical. If they're going on, they're a raging fire that we're ignoring. And so we're looking, it's like we're trying to go through life with our eyes closed and pretending to see something else. We are lying to ourselves, saying, well, I'm concentrating on this, and instead of the most logical thing. So am I talking around in circles here? I probably am. I want people to focus on what's actually causing the compensation, because they're coming to me with compensations. I don't care if you call it pain. I don't care if you call it inflammation. I don't care if you call it soreness or fatigue or anxiety. I don't care what you call it. It's a compensation that the body's dealing with in order to correct itself. But it's waiting on you to provide the relief. And that relief comes from the Brain First Always protocol that I teach my folks. We have to feed the brain, move the brain, and talk to the brain in the reparative, restoring manner that helps you protect your tissue reserves. So you've got that resilience. So you've got the innate intelligence still working with a receptive body. Because if your body's not receptive, that nerve energy that we're channeling through the spine is not going to be effective. It's just going to be a message that just doesn't get delivered. It's not received, and it's like not getting a message at all. So when chiropractic doesn't work, it's just, we have to change the conversation. We've got to flip it around. What is really going wrong? What is the body really up against? What is the stress that the body is losing traction on? Because the body is eventually going to be exhausted, and we've got to reverse that before the exhaustion really sets in. So I want you to focus on the 3 ways you're moving your brain, feeding your brain, and talking to your brain. And that roadmap for the healing journey is going to get you focused. And then I want you to go to the advanced roadmap, which I have worked on in the last couple of weeks. There is an advanced protocol, and that takes a little more time and teaching. So we always have to change that prefrontal cortex, how we are thinking about things and looking at new ways of addressing things. You need to blaze a new trail, because that old trail that's just hardened and trodden needs to be changed, and you've got to find a new trail. And that can be hard work in the beginning. Hard work, but rewarding. So how do we go about this? How do we increase our brain snobbiness so we can create that new trail and blaze it? Well, you watch these videos and make some comments. Hit the like button right now. You're almost to the end, so please like it, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Look at the blog, createpurpose.com, as well. Watch the orientation video, and keep looking at different ways you can boost your brain. It is a challenge. It can be a new hobby. You can tell by how passionate I am that I'm constantly looking and reading how to help the brain, because the brain makes the body so you can live your life. So become a brain snob and be that positive ripple effect in your community. Thanks for watching.